Hi, everybody. Welcome to English Digest. I'm Tom.
I'm Stephanie.
It's our TOEIC lesson for today. And today we're going to be talking about dealing with a difficult customer.
Oh.
If you work in customer service and if you have the job of dealing with dissatisfied customers, this lesson might help you out with your job. I think this is probably the job that most people don't want because if you're working with the customer service, you're probably dealing with customers who aren't very happy.
I think you need to have the right kind of personality to work in customer service. It's tough because there are some really rude people. Maybe not in Taiwan. People here seem to be nicer. But there are a lot of rude people in the world, and having to deal with an angry customer, an upset customer is really tough. And that's all they do all day long. They have to deal with people who aren't happy with their service. So we're going to be following a conversation between Rachel, the female, I'm Rachel, and Samuel, Thomas Samuel. And we're going to find out how this particular person, Rachel, deals with a difficult customer. We often use that word difficult, guys, when we're talking about a customer who's just really hard to talk to. Sometimes they're even really rude, or they're yelling at you or using bad language. Oh,
yeah,
dear.
but you have to get used to it if you're working for customer service.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about.
That's the job.
I guess you just shouldn't take it too personally. They're not really angry at you. They're angry at your company. But let's listen to their conversation and find out exactly why Samuel is upset and see how Rachel handles the situation. Let's listen.
Good afternoon. This is Rachel from customer service. How can I help you?
Hello, my name is Samuel Franklin. I'm calling to report a problem.
I'm sorry to hear that, sir.
You should be. To be honest, I'm very disappointed. What happened is quite unacceptable.
Well, on behalf of Hanford Electronics, I apologize for any inconvenience we may have caused. Whatever the problem is, we'll do everything we can to solve it and compensate you for your trouble.
I won't beat around the bush. Last month, I ordered a number of computer components from your online store. The website assured me that I could expect delivery within 10 working days. Well, I think you need to put a disclaimer on that policy. It took over 3 weeks for my order to arrive.
I agree with you, Mr. Franklin. That is certainly unacceptable.
And that's not all. When the order finally arrived, it wasn't even correct. Some items were missing, and I received other items that I hadn't even asked for.
I see. So, just to confirm, not only was your order late, but it was also incorrect?
That's right. I double-checked my original order. The mistake definitely happened at your end.
First of all, let me apologize again for this problem. Here's what we can do. We can send you the missing parts free of charge, along with a $50 voucher for a future purchase. Or, if you'd prefer, we can refund your original purchase price.
Okay, let's talk about dealing with a difficult customer. In this title here, we have the word deal. It's a verb phrase to deal with something. A deal by itself could mean you're playing cards. If you're the dealer, you pass out the cards to the other players. You deal the cards. But here it's a verb phrase to deal with. That means you handle a situation. You try to sort it out. You try to organize it and make sure everybody is happy. So here, Rachel is dealing with a difficult customer, and that difficult customer is Samuel. A difficult customer means somebody who's just kind of difficult to deal with. They're not happy. They're asking for too much. They're causing problems. They might be yelling at you, and they're causing a delay for other customers.
That's right. So we've got Rachel here. She unfortunately has to be the one to deal with a difficult customer. We often will answer the phone and say, this is, and then your name from some department. You could say, oh, this is Susie from accounting. This is John from, I don't know, the tax office. So here she works in customer service. Notice, guys, it's not customer services. Customer service. Service can be typically it's non-countable. So be careful with service. I often see this misused. But here, that whole department is just customer service. Customer service includes all of the things a company does to make sure a client or customer is happy after they've purchased something in particular. I mean, you want them to return and buy again from you, but if you don't offer good customer service, they're not coming back.
That's right. So she says, how can I help you? She could also say, what can I do for you? And Samuel is the difficult customer here. He introduces himself. He says, hello, my name is Samuel Franklin. I'm calling to report a problem. So this is what you can do if you are the difficult customer, or if you're simply the customer who has something to complain about. Introduce yourself and then say exactly why you're calling. Don't start calling the other person names right away or being obnoxious. You still have to handle this in a professional manner, even though you're kind of angry.
So he introduces himself and then he tells Rachel why he's calling. Well, he's calling to report a problem. And of course, her reaction is very kind, very polite. You know, I'm sorry to hear that, sir. Usually people in customer service have been trained to respond with a lot of empathy, which is a word that means they show that they feel your pain. They understand that you're upset and they can sympathize with you. He says you should be, which is kind of rude, to be honest. Well, you should be. If you're disappointed, you had hopes or expectations of something going well or that you might succeed at something and maybe you failed, or here he's gotten really bad service. So he had hoped that he would have really good service. So if you're disappointed, you're kind of let down. You feel sad or you feel angry that things didn't go the way you wanted them to. And he says what happened is quite unacceptable. If something's unacceptable, it's not satisfactory or it shouldn't be allowed. It's just not allowed. This is unacceptable.
It's unacceptable, yes. I cannot accept this. It's very unprofessional. This shouldn't happen in a perfect world.
Yeah. When I got in trouble as a little girl, I sometimes heard from my father, he would say, this is unacceptable behavior. Well, we're not going to accept this behavior. You've got to change your actions because we're unhappy with you.
Indeed. So he's disappointed. That's how he feels. I'm disappointed in you. Or you could say a situation is disappointing. That's different. Oh, this is a very disappointing movie. I expected so much and it's so terrible.
Yeah, be very careful that you never say, I'm disappointing.
Yeah, that means you yourself are the kind of person who makes other people disappointed. And so he's disappointed here. The situation is disappointing to him. And Rachel says, well, on behalf of Hanford Electronics, I apologize for any inconvenience we may have caused. People love it when you say sorry to them or when you apologize to them. So that helps that she's starting out right away here. She doesn't really know exactly what the problem is, but she's still apologizing anyway. She says, on behalf of. When you say that on behalf of, that means I'm representing this particular company. On behalf of Hanford Electronics. Or I could say, on behalf of English Digest, we wish you a happy weekend.
That's right. So, she can apologize, and she's apologizing for an inconvenience. If you are apologizing for an inconvenience, you're just saying you're sorry for the trouble or maybe the difficulty that customer or client had to go through. Maybe it caused them more time they had to take to figure this out. Anytime a customer has to call customer service, you're wasting their time. They shouldn't have to even call you. I wrote to a company today to complain that they had actually charged me the wrong amount because I got my credit card statement. And they then said, oh, we're sorry, can you fax us a copy of the statement? Which makes it even worse for me because I have to take more time to fax, to copy, to scan the statement and to send to them. So I'm really mad right now.
Yeah, I would be. It's up to them to resolve this problem, not you.
I know.
That does happen all the time. But in any case here, she's handling this very professionally. She says, I apologize for any inconvenience we may have caused you. Whatever the problem is, we'll do everything we can do to solve it and compensate you for your trouble. So she does not know what the problem is. So she says, whatever the problem is, no matter what the problem is, we'll do everything we can to solve this problem. And then also we will compensate you for your trouble. Here we have the word compensate. That just means to make up for something, to try to make things level or even like they were before.
Samuel replies with, I won't beat around the bush. If someone beats around the bush, that's an idiom we use to mean someone's kind of doesn't want to just say it directly. You know, they're kind of talking around the subject. A lot of people will beat around the bush when they have some bad news to tell you, or they just are embarrassed to tell you something. So they keep talking and talking, and you finally just get to the point is sometimes the response to that. Get to the point.
I'll get to the point. I'll come to the point. Same thing.
Yeah. So last month, he said, I ordered a number of computer components from your online store. A component is just a part of some piece of equipment. And we'll often talk about, for example, speaker components or stereo components. If you have a really nice stereo, you might have a stereo has different components, like the speaker. The speakers, you have two speakers, you have a receiver, you might have a turntable, you might have a CD player, things like that. A component is just one piece of something, usually a piece of equipment. So it's one part of it.
So if it's computer components, it could be the mouse, it could be the keyboard, the monitor, even speakers.
Sure.
The hard drive, stuff like that. Those are examples of computer components, and he ordered a number of computer components. You could say some computer components from the online store. He bought them on the internet using his computer, and the website assured me that I could expect delivery within 10 working days. Okay, that does not include the weekends. So if you ordered it on Monday, well, you can't expect it the following Thursday. It's got to be 10 working days. So it would be Saturday or maybe the following Monday in 2 weeks, basically.
Right.
But again, this is within 10 working days. And here we've got to assure. That's similar to guarantee. After he made the order, he got a message that said, yes, you can expect to receive your order within 10 days or at least 10 working days. We assure you of that. We guarantee this.
Well, he says, I think you need to put a disclaimer on that policy. A disclaimer is a statement that denies responsibility for something. For example, perhaps this computer online store could say, we guarantee that our equipment or your order will arrive in 10 working days unless there's some problem with the weather. Maybe there's a big snowstorm or a typhoon, or maybe it's a holiday. A disclaimer we often will hear is when someone has a radio talk show and they express opinions, and sometimes the radio station itself will say, all of these opinions expressed by this host are the host's opinions. They're not the opinions of the company, so that they can't be sued or get into trouble for something that host actually said.
Right. Or if you're a sporting goods company and you sell somebody a skateboard, you can say as a disclaimer, we are not responsible for any injuries that you receive as a result of using this product.
True.
That's your own fault if you try to do, a 360-degree turn in a half pipe or something. We're not going to be responsible for that. But in any case, yes, he says that they should have a disclaimer for this particular policy of guaranteeing delivery within 10 working days. He says, it took over 3 weeks for my order to arrive, and that's more than 10 working days. He has a right to be dissatisfied.
Well, and Rachel goes ahead and agrees with Mr. Franklin, and she agrees that it's certainly unacceptable. And then Samuel goes on, and that's not all. So he's really angry.
That's not it.
When the order finally arrived, it wasn't even correct. Now, that would make me angry, too. It's late, and it's wrong. What was wrong? Well, some items were missing, and then he got some items that he hadn't even ordered. So that's frustrating. I had that happen once to me. I got some clothes that I hadn't ordered, but I did send them back because I hadn't paid for them.
Uh-oh.
Well,
very honest of you.
She says, I see. Now, she wants to go ahead and confirm. If you confirm something, it's another way just to make sure that the information you heard or that someone gave you is correct. She wants to confirm that one, not only was his order late, but number two, it was also incorrect. So he says, that's right. I double-checked my original order. That's always smart. To double-check means you checked it once to make sure, but then you go back and you check again. If you double-check, it means you're pretty certain that you're correct.
Indeed. Not only was it late, but it was also incorrect, and he double-checked his original order. The mistake, definitely, for sure, 100% happened at your end. You guys are at fault, not me. I didn't do anything wrong. And Rachel goes on to say, first of all, let me apologize again for this problem. So you can never apologize enough to a difficult customer. Here's what we can do. This is her suggestion. We can send you the missing parts free of charge. Okay, so they can correct the order and then not pay or not ask him to pay any more money for it. And she'll send also a $50 voucher for a future purchase. Along with just means together with. You'll get this as well. A voucher is some kind of certificate or some kind of guarantee.
It's like a coupon.
A coupon. Yeah, exactly. So he can buy $50 more of stuff. In our article here, it says $50 US. But if you're in the United States, there's no need to say US dollars because that's what we use there. Like here in Taiwan, you don't say, oh, that's going to cost you 100块台币. No one would say that. You know, obviously, it's going to be Thai B here in Taiwan.
That's true.
So in the U.S., you just say $50. And it's a voucher with a $50 value for any kind of future purchase.
That's pretty nice, but, it'll help him get over his anger a bit, perhaps. But if he was in a hurry or really needed those components, yeah, it doesn't make it all better, but it helps a little bit. And that's what sometimes these companies will do. They'll either give you a voucher, or if the customer's really angry, they'll just refund the original purchase price or give back the money. If you refund somebody their price, it means you give back the money they paid to you for that product. Right now, guys, we're going to listen to our Chinese teacher, and then we'll be back to share some extra dialogues with you and perhaps a discussion question.
Hi everyone, my name is Jenny. 今天我们看的是第7单元。好，这跟 TOEIC 英语能力的检定测验有关。这个对话的内容很清楚的，它是要讲，如果有顾客来投诉的时候，当客服人员应该怎么回答因应。好，所以呢，这篇里头我们先谈客服，就是当客人投诉你，这个客服部门 Customer Service。这个片语应该要先记得。那当然达到 Customer Service 这个客服部的时候，好，回应的时候要注意应该有哪些的要点，这也是整个绘画要探讨的重点。好，首先我们就看绘画的内容里面呢，当然打来的人一定是很生气的，因为有话要说，有不满要提，他要举报某个问题。这个绘画里面的 Samuel 就是这一位投诉的客人， Rachel 就是接电话的这位客服部的小姐。那开始呢，她就提到 To be honest, I'm very disappointed. What happened is quite unacceptable. 好， What happened? 我们知道这种句型里面的整个主词就是 What happened, 动词就是 is. 什么事情发生了这件事，的确真的很令人难以接受。好了，当客服的人员，你一定要站在对方的角度，顾客的角度来看，所以他当然也就跟着 I apologize for any inconvenience we may have caused. 好，这就是一种很委婉的说法，马上致歉，为什么事情道歉 apologize for 后面就是加理由原因，为任何对你所造成有可能的这种 造成的不便，我们要为这件事而致歉。那我们除了看 apologize for something 之外，另外后面这个 we may have caused， 我们知道如果你是在所谓的语气助动词，像 may这种字后面去加完成式的时候，要特别的注意，因为像有的时候 must have done something, should have done something， 你在 have pp 也就是加完成式的时候，有一种含义，它的时间点指的就不是现在，是之前。换句话说，以这个 may have caused 就是表示在我现在和你讲话之前可能有造成的问题。再来，我们继续往下看，下面呢还有一个重要的动词，就提到赔偿的时候，我们会用到 compensate。那 compensate 这个表示赔偿，那后面呢 compensate somebody for something 这里是说 compensate you for your trouble， 换句话说是为您的麻烦然后向您赔偿，也就是所造成的麻烦之处，我们会为这一点来赔偿。所以 you can compensate somebody for somebody's loss， 换句话说你有所损失，好，我们会为那个而赔偿你。再来下面呢的对话内容，当然他有提到了，他说到有一个字比较特别的，就是 disclaimer。disclaimer 就是免责声明，因为呢这位 Samuel 先生呢，他的意思就是他之前订的东西，然后呢他这个公司里头所保证的收货时间是10天之内，可是没有10天内就收到，还花了3个多礼拜才送到。他说你们应该要在那个政策上干脆放一个免责声明 disclaimer。 好，这个字我们在讲法律的条文以后可能比较会容易看到的字，特别留意一下。好，最后呢后面他在这个对谈里面，当然 Rachel 一定是尽量安抚他，可是 Samuel 呢，他的抱怨还没有结束哦。他说到他不但是时间晚了，而且里头送的东西还不对。好，那 Rachel 当然就说 I see, so just to confirm, not only was your order late, but it was also incorrect。 重复一下，是不是这样的问题？不但东西延迟，而且内容还不正确。我们看到这个句型 not only but also， 我们要注意的就是通常你用这样子的连接词片语，这是一个片语前后的东西一定要对称。往往我们比较常见的是它加前后2个动作或者是2个名词，或甚至于是2个介系词片语。不过在这里它是接2个句子，如果你接2个句子，不但是怎样，而且还怎样，你这个前面的 not only 放句首，它后面接的可是要注意是倒装句哦。 Not only was your order late， 好，这是倒装句，所以 be 动词已经摆到主词前面了。好，那前面这里因为受到 not 这个否定副词的影响，你要倒装，但是后面的句子从 but 开始，那是另外一个子句。好，那另外一个子句 but 是连接词，所以后面这个部分就是很正常的句子顺序，主词动词，所以 but 接的是 it was also incorrect， 这里是一个问句所以就是意思不但而且前后加句子的时候，请记得 not only 前半要倒装，后面是正常的子句顺序。接下来最后呢，他还要谈说 Samuel 的答案就是对，我再度检查我的订单，的确是你们的错。好，再度检查这个动词 double checked， 其实这蛮常见的，我们应该要学起来，以后可以用。OK， 我们下次再见咯。
Well, Welcome back, everybody. We're going to continue with our lesson. We've got some sample conversations here, some extra dialogues that might help you improve your English and might help you in a situation if you ever have to work in customer service. So let's go ahead here. Let's go with the first one. I'm going to be A and you be B, okay?
All right.
Here we go.
Cool.
Do you have a reference number for the order that you placed?
Yes, it's RF5507.
Okay, so in this dialogue, we've got something known as a reference number. When you make an order or when you place an order, there's a number that represents that order. So they have a record of it if there's ever a problem. So yes, beware of that. There's going to be an order number or a reference number. Keep it. If you make an online order, you'll have the email with the number there, and you can use it if there's a problem. And I guess the person says it's RF5507. That's the reference number for the order that was placed.
Now, here's the next one. I'll be A. Could you confirm your contact details for me? I'll give you a follow-up call to double-check that the replacement parts have arrived.
My home number is 0264228910, or you can reach me at work at 0255443600, extension 356.
And a lot of times you need to give them that sort of information so that once they go back and do the research, if you're the company, you've got to figure out what went wrong. You got to find the order, look and see what you can do to fix the problem. And then you'll have to contact that client or customer again. Okay, third dialogue. Thank you for letting us know about this issue, Mr. Franklin. We'll look into the cause of the error and try to ensure that it doesn't occur again.
Okay, thank you for solving my problem so quickly. I appreciate your efforts.
So this is just a nice way to kind of deal with customer service. And if you're the client, this is a nice way to respond as well. Here's our discussion question, guys. Tom, have you ever made a complaint about poor service and what happened?
Well, I guess I have one time. I got a pizza delivered and it was not cooked all the way.
Ew.
And so I sent it back. I didn't really complain about it. I just said, well, the pizza you sent over here isn't totally cooked and I don't have an oven here. So you need to come over here and give me a new pizza. I wasn't really complaining. I was just pointing out their problem here. And needless to say, I didn't order from them again because I didn't want that to happen again. How about you?
I had a pizza issue. I ordered a pizza and they delivered the wrong flavor.
Oh, no.
And so I called them. I didn't like that flavor. I called them and they gave me a new pizza and let me keep the original flavor too. I ate them both.
Yeah. Don't tell them you don't like the first one. Then you keep it and then you can have two pizzas for the price of one.
That's good customer service. Well, we hope you learned some new terms, guys, and some ways to deal with some difficult customers. Try not to be a difficult customer if you are ordering something. For English Digest, I'm Stephanie.
And I'm Tom. Goodbye.
Bye.